we're back in the backyard. Hello. Good to see you here. Today we don't have any specific agenda per se. I just had literally a handful of fragrances, four in specific, that I just wanted to chit chat about with no particular note tying any of them together. So let's just hop in. Hi Habibi. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for being here. I always appreciate you. So I just wanted to start off with my scent of the day. Oh, no, not my scent of the day, scent of the afternoon, because in the morning I was wearing Kiko Mechiri Musk Nobilis. But for the afternoon, I reached for my vintage bottle of Safari by Ralph Lauren. My mom used to wear this in the 90s when I was a kid. And it just brings, oopsie. I'm not picking that up because you'll see my face. I'll pick that up in a little bit. My mom used to wear this in the 90s when I was a kid, and I'll tell you something, there is this, I don't know, I just have really good memories associated with it, but if you smell actual vintage perfumes, not old formulations that were remade, but actual bottles that have been passed on from the times, I think this bottle was one of the original formulations. This one I just recently got a few months ago, but I have my mom's original bottle in New York. I still have some left in it and it's well preserved. And yes, I took it without permission. Anyways, this is just gorgeous. It's floral without being heady. It's a little bit of dry floral, a little bit of creaminess, a little bit like vanilla amberiness, spiciness, and the right amount of soapiness to freshen it up. It's like it's not too spicy, it's not too soapy, it's not too floral, it's not heady, it's not too anything, it's not too amber, vanilla, not too sweet. But when you put it on your skin first, you don't need that much sprays for this one, but it just kind of envelops you in this cozy, but there's also like the sensual nature to it. And out of all the things that people recreate, I wish that they could recreate something like this. And I feel like there is some kind of green element on the dry down too that's in here. It's glorious. It's absolutely glorious. And for me, I have a lot of personal good associations to it. I got lucky like that because I know some perfumes when people were wearing around us when we were kids, we might have bad associations to it. But for me, this is just absolutely gorgeous, and this is my scent of the afternoon and the cap that I just dropped on the floor. If anybody wants to recreate this exact scent, I know they're still making and selling Ralph Lauren Safari, but it's not the same. It's not. This is different, and it's gorgeous. So Ralph Lauren Safari, the original, brings back a lot of memories growing up in the 90s. Okay, now there's a couple of things I wanted to talk about. A couple of random obscure perfumes. So the first one is from Maison Francis Kurkjian, but it's something that nobody talks about, or at least nobody I have heard of, and I can understand why, because it is one of those obscure perfumes pretty much for the curious, right? It's not for the main market. And the reason how I ended up coming across this perfume, I have it pre-sprayed here. Do you know the new release from Dior Riviera, the newer one, the supposed fig, supposed rose fragrance? And the reason why I say supposed because it's neither of those. I know it was very well received, so please just take this that if you like it, don't get offended by this because it's an opinion. It is a nice enough fragrance, but there's something about it, and I can see why it was well received in the market, but when I smelled it, it left me scratching my head, and I think it's because it feels unfinished. You know what I mean? There's something about it that is almost as if, you know, they forgot to do a few more modifications on it, and somehow it slipped through QA, and nobody caught it. I mean, that's just kind of my feeling on it. It's just, so then I got curious about Francis Kurkjian's earlier works. I've tested a few of them, but then I kind of got curious because somebody doesn't just always shoot to being such a well-known person without having some uniqueness to their mind before, unfortunately, they become corporate, right? Sometimes they do and sometimes they don't, but sometimes they do. And in this case, he still creates very good things, but it just kind of got me thinking. I'm not saying Francis Kurkjian's not a good perfumer, not at all. He's really good, but it just kind of got me curious to what he was like when, you know, he was doing his own thing because Dior versus his own house. And we use Baccarat and Gentle Fluidity Gold. I have that, and it's gorgeous, right? All gorgeous, mass appealing scents. And then I found Lumire Noire. It has rose, narcissus, spice, Szechuan pepper, and it's just, it is interesting. It is superbly indolic in the beginning, so I can see that's why this is not for everybody. It's superbly indolic in the beginning, but it's as if you went into the backyard and you literally picked off a rose, so it's like a fresh garden rose with a narcissus, because narcissus can be very green and really beautiful, and it can also come off very indolic, right? I appreciate the narcissus, and I have a few narcissus forward perfumes, and that's kind of what got me curious about this one. And it can be super offensive, so I can see why. I mean, I'm curious about it, so I don't mind, because I know that it will change and it will morph if you just let it do its thing on your skin. And this is one of those perfumes you just kind of wear for yourself when you're in a contemplative or curious mood, or you're just, you know, studying perfumes. And there is a perfume brand called Les Abstraits. There is La Douleur Exquise, LDE. That is kind of in the same, they're nothing alike, but it starts off with this aggressively offensive fecal note, not indolic, but like fecal note. But then just when you think you can't take the pain anymore, it hits this turning point and it becomes beautiful. And if you are into that kind of perfumery, for the curious and the superbly adventurous and slightly masochistic, you're gonna like something like this. This is not as extreme as that, but it's along those veins. But on that note, I'm gonna do a separate video reviewing all three of those perfumes. Spoiler alert, all three are very solid perfumes, very solid house. But if you like something like this, you're gonna like something like this. But this is a lot less aggressive, and the turning point from indolic to more bearable, quote unquote, is a lot, the pathway is a little less shorter, or a lot less shorter. But anyway, so if you like something like this, this is something you may want to look into. So Maison Francis Kurkjian Lumire Noire is the first one, so I've been really enjoying getting to know this one. Okay, and the next one, I have a pre-sprayed here, because this one's a sweet one. Oh man, this is really good. This one, I'm going to confuse this. I think the brand is called Athena Parfum, and the perfume name is Abha. Yeah, I'll put the name down below. Anyway, so Sebastian was talking about this several months ago, and I got it then. It's an Egyptian brand, and from the website, I think it's some kind of replication or inspiration by some Roja perfume. I've never smelled any of Roja's work yet, but I think it's one of those. And when I smelled this, I mean, this is something else. I find this absolutely, first of all, the bottle is really cool. Do you see that like laser printing on the front? Yeah, and this is an Egyptian brand, so that's amazing. Always gotta support, that's awesome. It's a really big bottle, so I think one bottle can last you a lifetime, and it's really heavy and you don't need that much. So for the perfume, it is absolutely gorgeous. It is fruity, it's spicy, and it does play a little bit differently on my skin. It actually becomes a little bit more sweeter, but the leatherish note, I don't know what the notes are. I don't remember at all now, because I bought this months ago. But because the weather's dropping down, I went a little bit heavier, a little sweeter perfumes, but this is not too sweet. And I mean, it is sweet, but it's not dense, it's not cloying. And there is some kind of animalic note in the background, and there is spiciness, and I think there's some kind of incensey note in here. And in the beginning, it's a little ashy. And it's already dried down now, but I'm doing it from memory. There's a little bit of ashiness in the beginning, and I don't like smoky notes, so it confused me a little. But there was this sweetness in there, and the spiciness, and almost like a vanillicness in there that kind of kept me going forward, because it wasn't too much that it off-put me. And then that ashiness kind of goes away, or kind of blends in, and there's this like incensiness. I get some kind of, I don't know if there's leather in here, but I get kind of some really nice, fresh kind of leather. Oh my god, it's stunning. And it has some kind of fruit in there. I'm specific thinking a little, I don't know why I'm smelling raspberry, because I smell like a sweet kind of tart, like just barely tart. Oh my god, it's so good. And I feel like this is definitely going to get you some attention. So I'm really curious to learn more about this one on my skin. And I think it's going to be perfect for the winter and for the fall, in which we are. But now we're getting later into the fall. So this is Abha by Athena Parfum. It's an Egyptian brand. Check it out. If you like sweet perfumes, so check out the website, check out the notes, and see if like this is going to be something that you'd like. This is the one that Sebastian had recommended several months ago. Okay, so I think I only have one more. Yeah, look at that. I only have one more. So this is another obscure perfume, but those who know about this brand, and I've mentioned it before in my community tab. It's Maria Candide Gentile. This is an Italian brand. Now, Maria was one of the first female Italian people to be, I guess, honored with female Macchia. I'm going to, kind of botch up the name. And she did something really cool with the Princess of Monaco. She created a scent for them. And I just thought that was really awesome. But in this particular scent, I just wanted to give you a little history on her. But this particular scent I like so much. Yeah. It's as if Dita Von Teese, if she were to wear this perfume, I feel like this would be her in a bottle. This is literally glamour, like vintage glamour. I don't have any other words. Do you know Dita Von Teese, the performer? Like literally the feather, the satin, like the sandals with the fur, with the old school hairstyle and like the red lipstick and like the old school vanity with the lights on, and people who actually put powder on their face. I mean, that is literally the vibes it gives me. It has like this grapefruit note. There's iris. It's powdery and a little bit cream on the dry down. There's this gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous incense note in here. That's not smoky. It's I described one of Alberto Maria's newer perfumes like this. It's like there's an incense in here, but not lit, so it's not smoky. It's like an incense on cold, like those incense sticks. Like you hadn't burned it yet, but you still get the essence of the incense there. So it plays really well in here. And I know grapefruit seems like a really unusual component, but it is a smooth, surprisingly non-acidic grapefruit. And it just, I wouldn't have thought to put grapefruit and iris and incense together, and it sounds bloody weird. And this is almost like, it maintains almost like a dusty powder. It doesn't obviously smell like dust, but like, those powder, like those old school powders with the poofy thingies that your grandmothers used to use, as if you took your hand and you like smacked your hand in and a little bit of the dust came up. And I have no other words for other than absolute vintage glamour. And the first thing that popped into my mind when I wear this is Dita Von Teese. And when I want to feel old school glamour, vintage, kind of like in a mood, I wear this. Oh, I'm sorry, did I say the name? It's Burlesque. I'm so bad at this. This is Burlesque by Maria Candide Gentile Parfum. It's an Italian brand. They do ship internationally, but you do have to pay for it. Gosh, it's so good. But I think you can also find some of her perfumes on some American websites, so on some discounted websites. But it's either hit or miss. You may find some, or they may be sold out. So it's maybe something you want to look into. But it's a brand that not many people talk about unless you're really into perfume. So if that's something you'd like, some old school powdery glamour Dita Von Teese vibes, check out Burlesque by Maria Candide Gentile. Okay, that's pretty much all I have. I just literally just went to chit chat. If you guys have any thoughts on these perfumes, if you've heard of any of them, or if there's any obscure perfumes you want to chat about, or just let me know about that, maybe I can sample. And just generally, I hope you're doing well, and I hope your autumn is going awesome so far, because it's obviously the best season of all. All seasons are beautiful, but it's my favorite season. And just a gentle reminder, the sweetest fragrance we will ever wear are not these perfumes, but our behavior. Another gentle reminder, please find somebody to thank today, even if it's something small. Another gentle reminder, find a moment and take a moment to thank God. Because if you're here watching this video, that means we made it into yet another day. Bye, Habibi.